My first kind of musical memory would have been me when I was about 4 or 5. My parents used to live in Yorkshire in England and work in London, so they would go on drives quite a lot, and I'd be in the back seat and they'd be playing like old Beatles albums or Van Morrison or Bob Dylan, and I'd kind of be in the back listening, and after a while I'd learn the words and sing along. That was the kind of first memory I have. I started to sing properly around that kind of time in the cars, but I started kind of writing songs and playing guitar around age 11 after kind of listening to a lot of Damien Rice, and yeah, and then it kind of went on. I got heavily into a band called Nizloppy, went on tour with them as their guitar tech, kind of learned how to play live and write songs, and yeah, kind of moved up to London, started doing a lot of gigs, sofa surfing, started recording songs, made EPs and sold them out of my rucksack at all the gigs, went on a few support tours, and then started a string of 5 EPs which I released over the course of a year, which all had kind of independent success, and by the end of that year I'd signed a record deal with Atlantic, which was cool. My parents did want me to kind of finish school and go to university and stuff like that, but they were always really supportive of me doing music, and kind of knew that was the path that I wanted to take. I told them that I'd work hard enough, and I did. Lights gone, days end, struggling to pay rent, long nights, strange men. And they say she's in the class 18. Stuck in her daydream, been this way since 18. 18, I did some work in a homeless shelter two years ago, and it was written about one of the women that I met. And 18 was written in about 20 minutes, like just completely, just came, wrote it down, and it was done. So that's one of the songs that just comes rather than is formulaic, I guess. I wouldn't say London's kind of the hotspot for musical inspiration, but London's definitely the place where the music industry is kind of centred around, so it's the place to kind of get gigs and to get seen and to record and stuff like that. I think if I hadn't moved to London, I'd still be playing music. I just don't think I'd be doing it at the same capacity. I think it would be more of a hobby rather than a job. When I was little, I wanted to be a train driver. Yeah, that was the big dream. And then, I mean, after that, I kind of only wanted to be a musician. No, there's no plan B at all. I don't think you can really succeed if you have a plan B, because you just have to make plan A work. Yeah, having a kind of Irish influence on the family. I have quite a lot of cousins that do music as well, and having that kind of Irish influence from a young age was really good. The kind of musicality that you get from different Irish bands, like there's a band called Planxty that I was brought up on, a kind of a traditional folk band, and then there's Van Morrison, and Damien Rice comes from Ireland as well, and Nizloppy were heavily influenced by Irish kind of trad music. So having that kind of shaped my musical sound, I guess. I think the first point where I kind of knew that I wanted to sing and become a musician, I did a school charity concert when I was 11, and I played a cover of Eric Clapton's Layla with an acoustic guitar, and I think I played in front of about 200 people, and it was the first time I'd ever kind of sung in front of anyone, and I was really, really nervous. And after I'd done it, I had such a kind of buzz on stage that I just wanted to do nothing but music after that. Stuck in her daydream, been this way since 18, but lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like paper. There's a certain type of rush and energy that you kind of get just from performing live, and I think I'm a little bit addicted to it. I love kind of performing. It's really fun. Yeah, I mean, like, I've done loads of gigs where I've either played to nobody or 5 people or 10 people, but I don't know, when you enjoy playing live that much, it doesn't really matter who the audience is, as long as they go away from it knowing that, you know, you've given a good show and stuff. And like, I don't know, it kind of built up over the years, and I built up experience from playing to nobody to playing to people, and yeah, it was cool. It was a fun time. I guess it would be frustrating to see 10 people in the audience, but I started off at such a young age anyway. I didn't really expect anything other than 10 people in the audience. I hadn't really earned my stripes to have a crowd of people, and now I've got to a point where I've done so many shows and I can sell out gigs, and it kind of feels worth it, you know. I kind of moved up to London on my own with no plan, just to do open mic nights, and that kind of worked out for me. So LA would be quite a similar place to London music-wise. You'd have the same kind of gigs and the same kind of promoters, and all you'd need to do is do one, meet someone, get another one, meet another one, and kind of network about. So yeah, I kind of knew by going to Los Angeles that I wouldn't just be static and not doing anything. Kind of knew that I'd at least get one gig out of it. Yeah, that's actually one of my dad's mottos, nothing ventured, nothing gained. He said that to me from a very, very young age, and just said kind of like, you know, like, even if you do something and it fails, at least you've had the experience. He was just a really nice guy, really, really cool guy, very, very down to earth, very level. The One Direction stuff just came through. I was friends with them, and Harry asked if I had any songs that I wanted to give them, and I did. So they recorded it, and it all went from there. They're really cool guys, really nice. But I actually was there when they recorded the song and played most of the instruments on it, and it was exactly how I wanted it to be, and I told them how to sing it and stuff. Like, it was, so yeah, I'm quite a control freak when it comes to that. I was like, yeah, this is how I want the song to be. So I like their version. I make music that girls fall in love with, but I'm not a typical teen idol who girls would fall in love with. So I'd rather be the one behind the speakers rather than on a wall, to be honest. People like Van Morrison and Bob Dylan and Eminem, Beatles. Yeah, lyrics first always. Yeah, I'm quite a prolific writer, but it kind of goes through stages. Like, I went 6 months without writing a tune at all. When like the album came out in England, I did 6 months of touring, didn't write anything, and then I wrote the second album within 2 weeks. So it's like it's kind of all or nothing with writing for me. It's weird. It's weird how songs come and go. The only difference with all my fan base are the same, like all around the world. They're always really nice and friendly. Media's usually the same. Media are quite nice, but it's often like British press are notoriously nasty, and everyone gets that. And it's just that, you know, you only have a few people in America that have that nasty streak, I guess.
It's for her project, so I'm going to leave it for her to speak about, but Taylor is a really cool person, such a sweetheart, really like her. You know what, I'm not entirely sure, it just kind of happened. Like one day I was doing a gig in Nashville and her manager was there, and then the next minute we were writing songs together. It was quite a quick process.
Up the door for you. And all I feel in my stomach is it's too cold outside for angels to fly. For angels to fly. And fly, fly. For angels to fly. To fly, to fly, angels fly.
Thank you so much for having me home. You've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Go home, get warm, have a cup of tea. I'll see you soon.